Constant Gardeners, episode 12 from the Gauntlet community located at gauntlet-rpg.com. And you can find the Gauntlet as well on G+, if you search for the Gauntlet gaming community. So, Darren, would you like to introduce your character again, please?
Yeah, I wasn't ready to go first. It's okay. I was just thinking, like, who really am I? So I feel like I played too many games too closely, and now I'm like, I have to like take a moment every time to be like, what game am I playing? Anyway, so I'm Gabrish, and Gabrish goes by they, them, or she, her pronouns, and they are a certain playbook that we have been calling The Haunt. And she is a tattoo artist that works with like these like data runners throughout the shelter, tattooing their nifty little data bird tattoos onto them. And her skin is like not real skin. And she has an arm that can split into two arms. I think those are the most important parts of Gabrish.
Cool. Mike, do you want to introduce your character?
Yeah, sure. Jira Shimmer is a general troublemaker and gun for hire. I'm trying to remember what else. A bit of a, she, is really like does not have high motivations. She's like trying to make money and like enjoy life while she can. I don't think she's planning on living very long. Like she's kind of got the philosophy that she'd rather die like before rather than get like really old. So she has like no qualms like stirring up shit, causing trouble. Her playbook is really geared towards breaking and entering and breaking on a large scale if possible.
Right. That's good. Steve?
So, Elysian, or the Old Man, is a Torque, and he came from the Foundation. So he helped build the city, but was cast out. And so he's a medical technician and creates gadgets and that kinds of thing. Right now, he has a localized data transfer drone in order to give us all a connection to be able to transfer things back and forth and collect data within a localized area. And he has, I think, recently just gotten nanites that can be used during modify actions for an extra die.
Sweet. And Yoshi?
Yeah, so I'm playing Caitlin Cross Karstes. She goes with she, her pronouns. She is a 5'3", like dark-skinned woman with kind of like shaved sides of the heads and a long hair on top that's often just kind of back. She used to be a pit fighter, but like right now she's working with the cleaners. She's an edge. She very much wants... She was part of the Forge communities outside, and she very much works with somebody in the Forged, like within Shelter 1, to kind of like relocate and resettle refugees and people and kind of make sure that people get set up. She has sort of a vendetta and is obsessed with Nourish and wants people to be free and have access to free food, and being tracked with what you eat is not something she is down with. And so that's one of her obsessions. And yeah.
Cool. So you might notice that you have a new special ability as a crew, actually, because they leveled up and took a move called Underground Haven. You have a home away from home, a nightclub, a vice den, etc. It has the same qualities as your base, and when you gather information there, you get +1 result level. And Mike, if you remember, do you want to tell them what it is?
Yes, yeah. So the boat that we've stole, I've been converting into a party boat, which is going to be our like underground den of thieves. So I've been hard at work getting some sound systems and fancy lights rigged up. I think that might be my downtime project.
Right, that makes sense. Cool. So, yeah, I like that all of this happened while other things were happening, like Gabration, prison, and all that kind of stuff, right? Very cool. Okay, so everybody else has done downtime, so why don't we quickly get you caught up as well? And yeah, certainly if you want to do a project of I don't know, tricking out this boat, that's cool.
Yeah, I want to have the best fucking party boat in town.
Yeah,
That's my project.
and presumably, so it's not identifiable as what it was, right?
Right. Also that, yeah, that, preferably if we get this, suited up enough, no one's going to recognize it as some like old, like ice trawler.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So let's make that a 6 o'clock, I think. And
Okay.
then didn't you guys make a lot of money as well?
I don't remember the money part, but presumably we did. Oh yeah, we did. I marked. I think that the way we divided the cash up was five per person. I've got marked on here, so that would have been like 20 overall for the haul.
Yeah, because it was huge. Cool. So also, if you guys want to tier up, that is a thing that you can do as well, because between all these people, I guess we get like a shot of all the other people that were involved in the in this heist, who are members of the Constant Gardeners, right? The kind of background PCs that had a spotlighted episode for whatever reason, are like walking around pretty flush. So, yeah, cool. And it takes 9 coin to tier up as well, and you have more rep than you actually need. So, do you guys want to do that? And we'll just say that like the NPC slash PC people, when they come, have the money, because there was like 20 divided up. So the 3 people that aren't here have more than enough. So we'll just leave your money alone and say that you have that. And let's make it. I did this with the shifter crew too, so I'm gonna make you guys tier 2 weak instead of tier 1 strong. And get rid of your rep. And then add the 2 left over that spilled over. And I think we're caught up then. There you go. So you're tier 2. Woohoo! Especially because this is the last session for a little bit as well, right? So we should try to go out with a bang or something. And also make sure that you mark 4 stash as well, because you got a crew advance. So turf with the team masters. Do we need to do anything else? Okay, cool. So
what does tiering up the group do for us?
It's a bunch of stuff. It's fictionally you just have like better quality things. Presumably your like experience has led to you being better at what you do. So when you take on people higher tier than you, it's like easier. When you typically go after things higher tier than you get like limited effect and desperate rolls and stuff like that. But as you go up in tier, then it kind of equalizes. Oh yeah, you have one more next week, do you?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Oh yeah. Right, I'm thinking of the one tomorrow. Cool. Yes, it all bleeds together. So cool. We have a bunch of time to stick the landing then. That's good. But yeah, so also when you're acquiring assets, your roll is a lot better because you roll your tier to get assets. Everything's pretty much easier. The only thing that gets harder is presumably your holdings are like kind of come under fire. People want what you have more. And it's harder to get XP because one of the XP triggers is contending with challenges above your station. And so the higher you get up, the least likely you are to kind of farm that XP, essentially. Yeah.
Also, it allows us to realistically fight things that are higher tier. Like we had to spend a lot of effort before to try to fight some higher tier stuff and do a lot of setup. Now we can do that with less effort devoted towards it.
And jewels, yeah.
And less jewels.
Yeah.
It will be less costly to try to fight some higher tier things.
Yeah, you guys had spent basically all your money on that one score to just to get the fictional positioning to be able to do it. But it was fun. It was cool. So let's see. Shimmer, do you want to do your 2 downtime actions real quick? And the boat tricking out stuff will make a 6 o'clock. And remember,
Right. Yeah, so I guess first I'll push that long-term project to fix that up, which that seems to me like it would line up pretty nicely with Modify.
Sure. A thing to note too is when you're doing these downtime things, if you have help from your friends, like a Torque, then you'll get an extra die to do that. And it might be just a fun scene to like Shimmer being like, "Hey."
Right. So how does I guess that's that would be like the fun question is how does Shimmer enlist the old man to help out on the fixing up the party boat?
Yeah.
So I think that within the crew there's a bunch of other there's constantly things going on, and I think that old man was part of a crew that was off. We just recruited 2 people, and Gabresh went to jail. So I think we were off, and we kind of came back to our headquarters. And I think at that point, we got up to speed on, all the shenanigans that you guys have been up to. We're like, what? That's crazy. But if you'd like some help, I could potentially just, do a tour of the new place, the new secret underground hideout, and go, oh, well, this could use some work, and wow, this is a pretty nice place you've got here.
Well, I'm working on it, and I kind of gesture to where I've got like it's like massive like tangled like stack of cables and like some like old like like lighting unit that I've got like kind of half open and exposed. Yeah, but it's a pretty good space. I mean, definitely something to fix up a bit. I've kind of been working on it a little bit already.
Yeah. Because you guys are both Torques too, right? So it could
Yeah.
be there's probably like the exchange of all that like technical jargon, like look at that A beam. That's a gross one or whatever. I don't know.
I was like, oh yeah, I was hoping I would, blow that out and maybe capsize this ship when we took it, but fortunately, we managed to get this whole thing out of there in one piece. So why not do something with it?
Right.
Yeah, this is great salvage. This is awesome.
Sweet. Okay, so when you are doing modify, add a helping die for the stand time action.
All right, so I get to be up to 4 in modify. Yeah.
Sweet. If you crit, then that's 5 ticks out of a 6 clock, so that's pretty good. Cool, so 2 ticks. And then if you want to spend money, you can increase the result, or you can spend an additional downtime action or jewel to do it again as well.
So if I spend like money on that, if I put like a jewel towards it, like what effect does that have?
So you have a mid result right now. So if you did an extra jewel, it would be 1 more tick, and then if you did 2 extra jewels, it would be 3 more ticks because it goes into critical territory.
Oh, okay.
But
Um,
on the flip side, though, is if you spend one more jewel, you can just do the whole action again, right? And then that's 4 dice. So it just depends how you want to do it.
yeah, I guess I'll push that. I'll spend the one more jewel to go for it again.
Sure. Well, you have 2 downtime actions anyway, and then you can keep spending jewels to do additional downtime
Right.
actions.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do one more go at it right here
Sure.
before even spending.
Oh, there you
Damn,
go.
okay, there's the crit.
There. So there's your 5. Plus
Alright.
2 is 7. So there you go. So what does it look like? What do we see on screen, and what is the like sort of finished product, I guess?
I think that it's still like pretty subdued, like on the outside. But like you can kind of see like the the glimmers of light. You can kind of feel like as I get like the sound system in place, like when you turn it on, like not only can you like feel the bass, but like you can see like the waves like rippling like off of the boat, and it kind of creates a bit of like a wake, like in this in the harbor whenever we actually get this thing going. It looks like a little bit like not entirely seaworthy still. Like, I feel like if you go to this party on the boat, like, you're probably like, taking your life into your own hands a little bit. Especially the more people we get on here. I mean, forget being like fire safe, like it's not even like, water safe.
Woohoo! Cool. And do you want to spend an additional jewel to do anything else? Do you have stress that you need to get rid of or anything like that?
No, I mean, last one went pretty smoothly, so I've only got 1 stress mark, so I feel like it's, I need to push that other.
Cool. And you only have 2 stress or heat as a crew, but yeah. So that's not too bad. And we already, I don't know. I wonder, do you think we should roll your what is it, device den again? The front business again? Or count it as the last time we did downtime as well? Because technically there has been another session. Just do it, maybe? Okay, it's a tier roll, so let's see. So 6 minus 2 is 4 jewels. And how much? Oh shoot, you guys don't have a vault even, actually, so that's kind of funny. You've got 4 coin in your vaults, but you don't have the vault upgrade.
Well, we should make that happen.
Yeah, and now you have another 4 there, so you have 8 to allocate or spend or whatever. I wonder. Maybe somebody could, instead of getting it as a crew upgrade, maybe you guys could just spend jewels to buy vaults. Seems plausible in the fiction that would be a thing. We could treat that, whoever wants to do that could just roll their lifestyle. So if somebody has a full lifestyle bar, get them to roll it. Yeah, cross. There you go. So roll your lifestyle, which I think you can click on, and then we'll just treat it as if you're acquiring an asset.
Sure. Where's the lifestyle button?
Let's see.
Because the last button there, or the thing on the stash, I think. Oh no.
Yeah, you just click stash.
Oh, you click stash. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
There you go. Cool. So technically that would be your own tier. So we'll call that 2 coin to get a vault. So if you want to spend 4, then I'll just give you both of those vault upgrades.
I think this is a smart plan.
Okay, sounds good. There, so you're back down to 4 in your vaults, but you have big vaults.
We have big vaults. Woohoo!
Yes, you got big vaults. All right, cool. And now you're back down to. So that was the money that you got for the front business anyway. So whatever. Now you can actually store your hard-earned jewels. Cool. And as a way of tying in the previous fiction, Gabrish, I think that you're like spending one of those days on your setup, right, with your haunt community hacking stuff, whatever that looks like in your workspace. And what you find is that a transmission went out, like a burst transmission from the now party ship, but like they wouldn't be able to trace it to the ship now because it's been kind of like retrofitted to not look like it and all of that kind of stuff. But a transmission went out to the porters from that ship previously, and the porters are sort of like mobilizing around town to figure out like who it was that they had done this. So I am starting a clock for the porters.
We shouldn't have absorbed the coil. That was a mistake.
Oh, I did Potters instead. Oh, you can't edit it? I have to make a whole new one.
You should be able to edit it.
I don't think so.
Let me add it.
Well, I did it now. Okay.
I think you have to unlock it. Nope, that's not true.
Yeah.
You should just be able to click on the name, right?
Can you? Oh, yeah, you can. Okay. Whatever. There you go. Porters find out instead of Potters. The Potters are coming! Harry Potter. Magic is hidden there. Magic is real. Okay, cool. So, yeah, just know that the porters are sort of like we get maybe a couple shots of the basin and the docks and stuff like that, and it there's people talking in that bar that you guys always frequently go to with the porters and stuff like that, and there's all these whisperings of this stuff happening as the people who's the captain of the ship is Victor, and all his men were killed, slaughtered. And so they're trying to figure out what happened to the ship, and the transmission went out. So it's a 4 o'clock thing, and as you guys do stuff, I'm going to be increasing it as they get ever closer, unless you do something about it, I suppose. So, knowing all that, what do people want to do? What's the next step? Do you tell people about this transmission, Grace?
Well, yeah, I guess so. In the long scope, I was thinking, like, I got a lot of stuff to do. I'm trying to break a man out of jail. But I suppose there's also time for me to say, hey, by the way, the ship you stole. Maybe that's a scene in, like, the center of the community garden. I gather everyone up. I'm like, I come out of my little tattoo shop. I'm like, what's your character's name again, Michael? Jira. Like, Jira, you guys didn't get out of that with the ship clean. The porters know.
You got out of there so clean. We iced every single person on board that ship.
Well, did you ice the computers too?
Well, no, but that's not important. Like, they're never going to recognize it now. I've been doing lots of work on it to make it seem like a completely different vessel. You know, I think you're just worrying. You're stressing about it out over nothing.
All right, well, when the porters come knocking at the garden's door, I'll be sure to send them to your room.
Why would they want to come knocking? We killed every single person on that ship and rode off completely clean, leaving not a trace behind us besides a computer submission. If I were them, I would not want to come looking for whoever took that ship.
They're going to want their boat back.
I mean, I think that we sent a pretty clear message when we took it from them that it's ours now, and they've got to just move on and cut their losses.
Oh dear, I wish things were that simple. All right, well, I'm gonna go back to getting our man, who I forgot his name, out of jail.
Hey.
Oh, Abe? Have you said?
Jay.
Jay. Oh, Jay. Okay, that's right. I'm gonna keep working on that. And hopefully I don't hear anything else about the porters. And this party boat better be awesome.
Yeah. Well, so it sounded to me, Vera, like it's like you want them to know that you have the boat then, but not be able to prove it or something? Is that why
No,
you
it's not that I want them to know that we've got the boat. It's like sending them a pretty clear message with like, hey, we killed everyone on this boat and like took it from you. Like if you want to come knocking, like, I mean, that's gonna, if you want to come looking for whoever took this, like that's like a mistake. Because we're
Right.
so incredibly dangerous.
Right. Well, from their perspective, they probably don't know anyone's dead, right? They just think that the ship is missing and that there was like a SOS that went out at some point. So they're all like, "Oh no, we gotta go look for."
I think we threw at least one or two bodies off the decks.
Yeah. so you're just hoping that they like wash up.
Well, maybe I'll have to go and like send the message a bit clear not to come knocking. If they keep poking around, I'll keep an eye out, and like anybody pokes around, like I can, you know what? If we didn't, you know, we have to do something with the bodies. I mean, we could send them that way and like deliver a message.
Sure.
Like, I mean, like maybe we did like leave the bodies behind. Like, is it too late to retcon that?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
So maybe like a couple.
Yes, shipping container.
Maybe a couple of the men have sailed with Victor before and know that spot, and then when they go there, then they just find like all the dead bodies. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, they don't just think it's a problem. They definitely are like gonna be pissed. Porters are level 3 tier. Let me see. Yeah, they're 3.
Just
Yeah.
level 3?
And now that we're tier 2, that is so much easier to take on directly.
It's true.
Never mind, Gio. Let's fuck them up.
It's true, but I mean, the thing about that is too, like you need porters, right? Like you need them to bring the clean water as well. So you might want to not kill them all.
I mean, we've got a boat now. We could branch out. We started off with providing providing food that was not traced. Now we'll have water. It'll just be like part of the whole cycle. We're diversifying.
All right. Okay. So is that a thing? Do people want to do a score where they like take out the porter's presence in Shelterwood?
No. I'm not feeling that.
You don't want to do vertical integration for the whole pipeline of everything?
Yeah, actually, I kind of do. So we absorb the porters, and it'll be way easier to take down Nourish. And then we control the whole food system.
To think you guys all started out as altruistic gardeners.
Right, we diversify the system and we monopolize it.
Why have 4 pillars when you can have 1?
Okay, so okay, so it sounds like there's a few things on the table. For one, Gabrash wants to finish getting that fella out of jail, right?
Yeah, but I have a long-term project for that, so
Okay.
I can just
And
realize that, not with a score.
right. Okay. And then ulterior thing that you could do is take on the porters, it sounds like. What is your... Do they even know that you exist at the moment? Faction? Nope.
Did you leave a note on the bodies when you dump them off? Courtesy of the constant gardeners.
Oops. I'll put... Porters in labor and trade. Tier 3. Strong. Your status is just 0 with them right now because they don't know that you exist. Cool. Okay. So, well, now I think would be a good time to do wishes then. Okay, so, Darren, any wishes for this session?
This is unfortunately my last sesh. I won't be here next week because I'm moving, which is like the worst reason to miss anything. So I think that I like the Porter's idea too because it's like very bombastic. So I'd like to have another like a nourish moment. This is very cinematic and exciting. I feel like there's another word that describes that better, but we'll go with that.
Okay, cool. Mike, any wishes?
I'm game to follow up with the Porters, or just kind of see some of the other plot threads that we got running in the campaign. Either one of those would be fine with me.
Cool. Steve?
I'd kind of like to see what happens whenever Jay gets out of jail. So.
Cool. And Yoshi?
I'm good with what do I want to see? I want to see more from Shimmer just because like I haven't really seen Shimmer yet, like in play personally. And I also want to see like Gabrish do some big stuff if Gabrish is not going to be here next session. So like whether or not we're breaking Jay out of jail or we're doing something with Porters. I want to see like some hacking. Yes, I want to see Gabrish's third arm. Like I want to see like that type of stuff happen. No matter which actual scenario we go down. For me, it's more about which characters I want to see highlighted and do stuff.
Cool. Okay, so, well, how far away are you from getting Jay out? In your
One
account?
segment. I was going to actually offer an idea if you
Sure.
want, because I think we could combine the two and whatever we want to do for like another thing, but like to use the Porters as an example, if we wanted to do that, we could do like we or I could do like a small setup thing basically to get Jay out and then use that Dippers connection to like position ourselves for a Porter's hit.
Yeah, totally. That
And
sounds
then we
great.
can set up Jay more for next session too. If you want to highlight more of what's going on with them in the coil in this, just expedite that a bit.
Sure. Yeah, I like the idea of you doing like an extra downtime action to complete that clock as a flashback when you were in jail and using your third arm somehow. Right? Like I could just picture you guys in the, I don't know, prison yard or something with your arms crossed or something, and then your third arm like palms something to Jay or something. I don't know. Something like that.
It's such like a not stealthy cybernetic. It would be like arms crossed and then the forearm would just unfold.
Well, I don't know.
It's very good. It's a good look.
It's on you.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Cool. So do you want to
Oh yeah.
do that? You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
just do you want to just
Oh, I have
spend
2 seconds
one
left.
from the vault or something to do an extra downtime or what?
I'll just withdraw from my stash. So
Oh,
Gabrish is not going to be retiring well. I never filled that first track at all. And then let's see if this is the big breakout. I want to say I love it to, I think the image is maybe, well, I guess let me roll. I think this, so we'll see. I think it's going to be.
Isn't it only one segment?
It's 2.
Oh, 2. Okay. I was like, you can't really fail. But okay.
Yeah, I know. I looked at it wrong. I probably won't fail, but you know, who knows?
Yeah.
I'm going to roll prowl because I want it to be like sneak out. I want this to be, we're going to make it big. We're going to sneak Jay out. And then let's see. Roll 20 is going pretty fast today. Might be a good day.
6, there you go.
Like, yeah.
extra.
Hmm. So I think maybe what the big scene is, like in jail, I've like hooked everything up, made all the contacts I need, and I've like been able to like contact people outside, like the haunt community, and then probably get in touch with all y'all. And I think what we do is we just do some like stealthy hacking stuff where we switch around records and we like delete a prison record, and we like basically set up Jay to be a guard. So then maybe there's like an illicit visit where he gets a guard uniform, and we both do. I guess I have to get myself out too in all of this maybe, and we just walk out as guards. Very anticlimactic in a way, but very like cool. And the cinematic version, the Hackers 1999 film version, there would have been a lot of like polygonal hacking nodes, attacks on the kernel, and yeah, and then like a slow motion walkout.
You own Colonel Sanders. Cool. I like it. Cool. So you got Jay out. I also imagine too, like once you get back or something, they probably do that thing where they like shave all the inmates, the laborers, for easy spotting and just to be dicks. But when you get back, I think Jay like takes a pill and his head like blooms with the hair, right? Because he's got to get that hair back. It's so nice. It's got that old man Santa hair going on, so it just like starts sprouting from his face and from his forehead and stuff until it becomes the picture that we see there. And he like shrugs into the blue suit again, right?
There's a nice scene where he I can't think of like the words I want to use. He has a reunion with N and B. Are those the two?
Yeah.
Again, like in the courtyard of the garden. Very sweet. There's hugs.
Yeah, in the gazebo, right? With some tea. Isn't it tea and ages too? I like that all of this is your fault too. All to me, everyone's like, "Oh, it's so nice," but really, ever since you began, you've been framing this person, and now you just were like, "Oh, I guess we'll get him out," right?
It's a very abusive relationship. It's like
Yeah.
we're the people in control here, and you're gonna do what we say because we know better than you.
Yeah, it is interesting that Blades always turns out like this, right? Where people in the beginning, they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna like take down Nourish and save the world and stuff. And now they're just like, well, maybe we could frame these people, ruin their lives, springboard off of that, take over their business as a monopoly, and then become one of the superpowers. Yeah, it's a slow road to well, maybe a fast road to corruption. Actually, I was gonna say slow road, but I don't know. This happened pretty quick in 12 sessions. So, okay. So now the plan is to leverage the reunited coil, which is integrated into your own team now, which is mechanically you get +2 joules for high class targets, right? Which would be the people coming up as well. So they're, doing their dipper ways as you are doing these heists and stuff like that, right? But so what mechanically first do you guys want to get out of the next thing that you target the porters with? Do you want to like eradicate them? Do you want to knock them down a tier? I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, if we actually want to take over their business, we should try to eradicate them. That seems a little bit hard to do if they're tier 3. But I could totally see like conceptually knocking them down a tier being like us setting up like competing business. Like, hey, yeah, we're also running fresh water and you're going to deal with it because if you don't, we will come there and kill your CEO.
Okay. Well, eradicating them wouldn't be that difficult because basically what this abstraction of their um, status is here in the city is there is a place outside of the city called the Rus, which is where these people come from. And when they are on ships and they do their runs, they come back to the city and they have a certain amount of clout and positioning because they do this thing. But because of that, the porters are never all here, right? It's only like a crew full of ship of people or whatever. So you could definitely wipe out their presence in the city for now until like another run comes in or something. But that might be all you need to be like, if another ship comes in, we'll just do the same or whatever, right? Like we'll just kill you. So it will be a little bit tough because it's one tier ahead of you and there's more people, but you could certainly plan for that because you guys planned to blow up a Nourish and kill them all. So I think taking on some porters in the docks is less hard.
Let's do it. Let's show them a message. Send a message to the other boats still out there, as well as all the other people that like. No. The constant gardeners are here. We're going to make sure that there's fresh water and clean food, at least for the people we care about.
Right.
We can't constantly garden without a supply of fresh water.
Exactly.
Right. Cool. Okay. So, what kind of plan are you going for? Is it assault? Is it a deception? Is it a stealth? Are you stealthily Metal Gear Solid killing these porters one by one, or what?
I mean, yes, I think it's probably a combination of assault and stealth. I'm not sure we're like going in their guns like with a rocket launcher type thing. Like we're probably killing people.
I kind
Yeah.
of like the idea of like an ambush where we deceptively encourage them to come and to a particular area, and then we unleash the assault to wipe them out.
Oh, we do have a boat that used to be theirs.
Yeah. You braveheart them.
I think we should plan a gala on the boat.
Well, you could always just be like, "We found your boat" or whatever, right? And it's like one of those things where they can just see it, like just beyond there, and it's like they can kind of see that it's the old ship or whatever. But as they go there and meet you on it or something, then that's when you launch the attack on them or something, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for Gracia's point of view, we could totally make that a deception. It's like, hey, we heard you guys were missing your boat. We found it. Here it is. Come meet. We found it. We want a finder's fee. So let's talk this out. And then when they come to talk it out, well, okay, yeah, the fee that we were looking for is you all to be dead.
Yeah. Punch their tickets. Cool. Okay, well, I think that Porter's find out clock is going to go from 0 to 4 pretty soon. But it'll be when the plan is launched. So why don't we do the necessary gathering of information first so you guys are prepared for this? People might want to acquire assets to the same tier as them as well. That's a thought. But if we're working towards a deception plan, it sounds like a trick, right? Let's see. Yeah, deception is lure, trick, or manipulate. Detail the method of deception. Does that sound what you like? What you want to be doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so remember, I'll just quickly highlight what you want to be working towards in this fiction. You want to gather information in order to launch a bold and daring plan. You don't want it to be complex or contingent on many factors. You want it to expose a vulnerability to the target. You don't want them to be strongest against this approach. If you have friends or contacts, they can give you help. Enemies or rivals can interfere. And then other elements, you know that they're one tier above you. So no matter what, your luck will cancel out with the tier thing. because you start out with 1d for sure luck, right? So, keeping that in mind, does anyone want to gather some information?
I want to sort of gather some information and possibly acquire an asset. So I imagine, and I think I need Gabrish either to help or lead part of this, because I think part of what this is on any port or anything like that, there's got to be like dock hands and security and hired muscle and things like that. So it's going to be totally like going to the bar or wherever they are and talking to them and maybe paying them off of like, hey, we're going to do this thing and you're just not going to be around to help out to these people when they come by, when they need help. When they expect to have help, it's not going to come type thing.
Yeah, maybe it's like maybe we're doing this too around like the next meeting or like the next time that the Green Mile is going to be up. So maybe part of it too is like maybe don't work at the docks this day. Maybe go and like stand at a food stall and pay them better, right?
Yeah, something. So like that to me, part of the asset is like, yes, we know you in theory are working the docks on X day, but here's some pay to go work this other job away from here. We don't actually care whether or not that job gets worked. You don't actually have to be there, but that's the pay to go somewhere else for that day.
Okay.
Have a vacation.
Okay, so first you want to figure out who their hired muscle is.
Yeah, who the hired muscle is.
Cool. So how do you go about doing that?
I think there's got to be a bunch of like bars and things down by the docks, and I'm positive the hired muscle goes there. So it's probably like scoping those things out there, drinking every now and then, and like seeing who's there, who comes in on a regular basis, talking with people, and like kind of like just like getting a feel for it, and then maybe asking around and doing something. So I'm thinking maybe a survey. Is that right? Is that what survey is?
Yep.
All right. Yeah. I'll do a survey.
Survey it good. And Gabrish is with you helping, or?
Yeah, I think so. Cool. Because I figure Gabrish can help me with the survey and I can help Gabrish with the talking to people part. Because I'm letting Gabrish lead that part.
Right. You're just paying attention real good.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to stand there intimidating because I have opposing. So.
Right.
Cool. All right. So do I want to... No, I don't really want to spend stress on this yet. Cool.
That's good. So what is the exact question? And then you could follow up.
Yeah, I think the exact question is basically who's in charge of the security for the porters.
It is manufactured life.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Which you guys have stolen from before as well, right? But you blamed it on the coil, of course.
yeah. Manufactured light, tier 3 strong, 0 status.
Yes. It's life now, though, instead of light.
Okay.
And let me see. And the person that they outsource that to is Elsbeta. An edge for hire, ambitious, lethal, morally flexible. So this is all coming together, I guess. Let's get a picture for Elizabeth.
We will take advantage of her moral flexibility.
Yeah. That's pretty funny because I was like, oh, you're just going to assume. And then I saw that. I was like, yeah, it's probably fine. The planet.
What was their name again?
Here, I'll copy and paste it.
Thanks.
It is here.
Elzbieta.
Need a cool picture. Oh, this one's pretty cool. I don't think we've used this yet. Have we used that one yet? It's got like a cool cyber hand, with blue hair, and some cool goggles and stuff.
No, we have not used that one.
Cool. Let's do that then.
Very intimidating arm.
Yep. She mad. Well, she morally flexible.
Do you think that there's like a tiki bar at the docks?
Sure. Why?
I'm just trying to get a flavor of the place where we're gonna be like, hey.
I think you find that they go to a bar called Tech Noir, and it looks like the one from Terminator.
I don't know what that looks like.
Tech Noir.
That's fine for me. So we're going up to Elzbieta. What a name. We probably already know who she is, right? Like the survey probably gave us like
yeah,
all
and
the
because
stuff.
you got a 6 as well, you can ask follow-up questions too. So you know the person. What else do you want to know? Or you find out who they are and their NPC 3 things about them. What else would you like to know?
I mean, if she's ambitious, I kind of want to know what her goal is, because if we can play towards that, then that can make it easier. So, like, is she looking to like run like one of these things? Does she just want more pay? Like, what's her ambition?
Cool. Okay, yeah, well, let's do that. I'll make sure to give you that in the scene then when you approach, right? So, yeah, I think she meets regularly to arrange the protection, right, for the porters and whatnot. Especially now, I bet that it's like kind of a new thing that they're ramping up the protection because they found a bunch of dead bodies. So yeah, they're kind of like going to the best or whatever, and they already had a relationship with Manufactured Life, who now she is sort of like moonlighting, putting together these crews that help out the porters. And I think there's always like a curt meeting between the porters and them, and it would be with Porter Wise, is what I'm talking about. It will be with someone named Hugo. Uh-oh, we have to find another picture. Oh, have we used this one? This guy looks like a Hugo for sure. Have we used that before? It definitely looks like he works on a ship.
We have not used it before.
Cool.
I have used it before, but not in this game.
Oh, okay. Apollo's World?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So, yeah, Hugo is Caucasian. He's got like a bunch of tattoos on his chest, especially on the right side. It goes down all the way. He's wearing like the typical sort of duster, which has been like retrofitted to like be cut off so it doesn't reach all the way down to the bottom. He's got like dock worker boots on, green, long pants that are kind of like ripped and torn and stuff like that, and big gauges in each ear, and a like sort of tattery mohawk going on, and looks like he is kind of like mad all the time, seems like. Whereas Elsbeta, who is meeting him each time, is wearing like sort of tweed wear, is what I would call it. Like a light brown tweed-ish thing going on, and green striped pants. Their left arm is completely mechanical, blue hair, and always wearing the like goggles, the kind of stuff that you guys would wear on a job, I think, to give you additional information and readouts on folks. And they meet at the bar Tech Noir, the Terminator bar, and it's always a curt thing where they try to. Well, actually, they don't really care about it being like discreet or whatever. They both are like, if anyone sees, we'll just punch them in the face or kill them or whatever, right? So I think they just have like Hugo always arrives first, orders like a scotch or some sort of hard liquor, and she arrives shortly after. There's an exchange of money, and Hugo leaves, but she stays and like will drink and start like partying and stuff like that. And maybe that is when you approach. Do you do it on the dance floor, or what does your approach look like?
So are Hugo and Elzbieta dancing?
Hugo
They're, like,
left.
partying? Oh, Hugo. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hugo, like you maybe see this every week or something, or every few days or something, whenever it's due. And each time it is exactly in this procedure and the same sort of like huge bar stool table type things, you know, the really like tall ones. Same table, same procedure, and every time afterwards she sort of like downs the drink and then like dances for a little bit before she goes back to life.
Sure. Well, the way I think we're going to get Elzbieta's attention is that Gabrish is going to order a microbrew at the bar and then lean against it and make eyes at Elzbieta.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's see.
We're doing full lesbian realness right now.
Okay. I don't think. I'm trying to.
Do you want me to roll charisma?
No. You'll already get the answer to the follow-up 6, but is there something more from the scene that you want, though?
Or this was the... I thought we were going to transition to the convincing Elzbieta to not show up.
Yeah, but are you also trying to get more information than the initial posit with the first roll as well? Because this would be a good opportunity for a roll like that as well. Because the first one is surveying, right? Like these are the things that Cross notices. But is Gabrish also trying to get more information in the
from that
seductress kind of way?
I mean, I don't think so. I'm okay with just moving. Yeah, because I presume Cross and I talked about that because now we're gonna try and convince her to not show up with her crew to work.
Okay.
I'm just gonna. Was there something I can glean from looking at her?
Like more information?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm okay with just going to the sway roll, basically, is what I'm thinking it'll be.
Okay. Well, I think...
I was just painting the scene. I wasn't trying to, like, read her or anything.
Right, yeah. I just wanted to make sure. So, I think what happens, though, is we get, like, the eyes locking. She starts dancing more, like, performatively. And then she goes to the bar to get a drink where you are, right? And she kind of like makes a nod over to it. And in neon red, it says, "Find what you love and let it kill you."
I'm not looking to murder anyone.
Well, I think it's her way of flirting, right?
It's that classic edge flirtation rule.
Yeah.
I think Gabrish is like, your name's Elzbieta, right?
I think she does like a thin smile and nods, but then also does that thing where she only shows you like half of their body, like she does a half turn as sort of like a protective nature thing. And she says, "What are you looking for?"
Hmm. I wonder, where's Cross at? You know,
Chris?
should I bring her to a more intimate meeting with the three of us, or are you on the other side of the dance floor? Like,
I think given that there's a dance going on, I think I'm probably dancing, and so that like I'm there and close by, and not necessarily like trying to like be intimidating yet, or but at least like, hey, I'm here, or you can like point out to me, or I can be there if need be.
And are you guys dressed normally, or are you dressed for the club, or what?
surely we're dressed for the club.
Yeah.
Which is what?
Man, well, let's see. Gabrish is normally in just like completely unstructured fabric that's belted around them. So I think that maybe instead of that, she's going to. Oh, you know what? Gabrish wears like a skin suit. It's like yeah, I think it's just like a cat suit, and I think that it's like the arms and then like the like the waist and then like just above the knee going down it's like transparent, so it's like an ombre from like solid color to like cover her body and then to like transparent, which is weird because her skin's kind of like plasticky. She's just very shiny in the club.
Yeah, all I could picture is that Moana with the crab going, everything's so shiny. Cool. What about Cross?
I think Cross is dressed in clothes that are both practical as well as somewhat flashy. Like I think it's sort of like, you know how people like it like, you know how like dancers actually have like the leotards and things like that that are enable a lot of like movement and flexibility and things like that. So like I think it's a lot of stuff that is like that. Like nothing she is wearing it has would limit her movement or her mobility in any way, but like it's definitely more the club versions of those things. So like there's like it's not like just plain gray or anything like that. It's like it's things that are brightly colored, yeah, bedazzled, things like that, type of stuff that is going on.
Cool, cool. And yeah, so is Gabrish trying to get her somewhere else, or what? What is?
No, I think since Cross is there in the crowd, I think we'll just stay at the bar, right? And I can like in the like overview of the scene, right? I probably like gesture over to Cross and I guess before that it's kind of like go ahead.
Hmm?
Oh, I thought Yoshi was gonna say something.
Oh, I was going to say, like, when you like gesture over, I think I definitely give you that sort of like nod, and it's the sizing up of, and to Elsbetta, it's definitely sizing her up, but less so in the sizing you up of like, I think you're beautiful, of like, hey, game recognizes game, we're both edges type thing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I actually like that. I mean, I think the thing is like or it probably looked like Gabrish was being flirty at first, but I think Gabrish is like, my friend is really into you, but she's kind of shy.
Okay. So, but when she looks over, she
And-
sees that
and
it's
then-
more like that Cross is an edge and not like particularly interested, right? Cool. I think also whenever she like she orders something strong And the glasses are doing that like a typical cyberpunk thing where they illuminate the liquid inside to like some sort of like neon color or something, but the camera shifts so that it situates when she gets the actual drink. She's actually right behind her is that neon sign, right? The find what you love and let it kill you thing. And so yeah, and then she basically just like nods at Cross, to like acknowledge that you guys are both edges, right? And then says, if you've got an edge, what do you need me for?
Well, we just have. I think Gabriel's like, we're all trying to work in this town, and you know, we've seen you around. You know, some of the people you've worked for, and we just have like another deal for you. Maybe something a little better. You know.
Like what?
You're so forward, Alzvieta.
I get paid pretty well already. And she like unconsciously, her regular hand probably goes to like the envelope of jewels or whatever, right? Like the sheathings for them.
My team, me and my edge, are going after a group that maybe you've been involved in, and we're just, you know, I can't think of like the words I want to say, but it's like as like person to person, we're just giving you a heads up thing, that sort of thing.
Right. So yeah, we can just move to abstractions then. So do you
I'm
want yeah, sure. So you want to basically offer her more money to not do the job that she was hired to do, right? Is that the thing? Cool. Okay. And you're doing this sway and not control, right? It seems like it. Control would be like more intimidating. Like you'd probably like get her to sit at the same table as Hugo and be like, "We know," and shit like that, right? So
the other thing with finding out what her ambition is, if it is purely just money, then it's definitely offer her more money to just not do her job. But like if she wanted something else, like hey, we know you're interested in thing, this is what we can do to help you get what that thing.
Right. I'm going to see what the role is, and that might be a complication. So why don't, is this a group sway or is Cross assisting Gabrash in a sway? What
I was thinking I was assisting, but I could totally do it as a group.
Okay. Gabrash, oh, you already rolled.
Yeah,
so
I was going through the prompts. They were very slow. Or back to normal.
Okay, so did you roll with help already?
Yeah, I rolled with oh wait, I meant to, but it didn't. I meant to do a +1 for help, but it rolled 20.
So you could be doing a group thing. It's up to you still, or you could just, if you want to, you could take one stress, and we'll just get Darren to roll an extra d6 or something. See what it is.
I've only got one die, so your call, Darren. I can either roll one myself, or I'll take the stress and give you another d6. It may cause you more stress. It may not.
Let's just do the one more die.
Okay. All right. I'll take the stress.
Okay. Do you want to roll an extra d6 then?
I would love to. 10 minutes from now.
Anticipation rising.
Every time I have my like Hangouts video and then Roll20 are in different tabs. So like, yeah, no, we'll keep the 5. That's okay.
Yeah, 5 is good. Okay, and as part of a complication. I think what she says is like she's drinking her neon drink, right? And I think she in the other game, the Wired Crew, they have like a sort of cigarette thing that is laced with these drugs that Lauren's character always is puffing on, and I think she's got her hands on something similar to that, and so she like takes a big drag of it, and we zoom in on the cigarette as if it was like FLCL, right, where it's like jagged and burning down low, and she expounds it out and then says, "So you guys are the ones that took out the crew then?" And then I think she doesn't even wait for a reply. She's like, "If you are, then what I want." She just sort of like infers what it is that you want to, what your end goal is, and she's like, "Sounds like I'm going to be a captain then." Is that right?
Well, we do need people to drive the boat.
Cool. I like that. Wait, and I guess we just probably cut there, right? That's good. Thanks for your patience, Mike and Steve. That was a little bit longer, but it was fun. So, question: Do we want to see Shimmer and Old Man do gather information real quick, or do we want to go on break and then do that because it's 20 after? Do people need a bio break?
Yeah, break sounds good.
Yeah, let's take a break.
Okay, cool. Let's come back at 26.
So Yoshi, how many origins have you been to now?
4 or 5.
Nice. I haven't been to that one. So
It's a fun convention. For me, it's a little far away and expensive since I've got to fly there and get like hotel or Airbnb or something like that. But I like Columbus. Like, I like the area around there. Like, it's got a lot of decent food and things, and it's kind of just like a nice chill area, at least from what I've seen during that time. Um, and so, along with all the people that like I've got to meet and see there, it seems worthwhile to me every time that I can make it. It seems like a worthwhile event to go to.
yeah. I've always heard very good things about it. And I keep hearing about the ice cream place.
Yeah, Jenny's ice cream is pretty
Jenny's. Yeah.
Jenny's ice cream had like 5 listeria outbreaks all in a row. The better Columbus ice cream is Grater's.
Is Grader's walking distance from the convention center?
No, I have no idea where Grater's is. Jenny's does have really good locations. And I live in the short north, like 5 minutes from the convention center, so I eat at Jenny's all the time. It's just funny that they had so many listeria outbreaks all at the same time.
Funny, yeah.
Well,
you
like,
didn't
like
you didn't go to Origins though, did you?
No, my last weekend was my friend's birthday. He lives in Chicago, so I wasn't even in town. I also didn't really know how it worked because I didn't know what Games on Demand was, like literally until this week. Because I just saw the schedule and I was like, well, that's a whole bunch of like Pathfinder and Shadowrun that I don't care about. And then, seeing everybody come back and they're like, there was literally every PBTA game under the sun. I was like, well, okay. Because I probably could have gone Thursday, but didn't know.
Oh, well.
If I go next year, just come talk to me, find me, and we'll hang out.
Yeah, for sure. There was a bunch of people from the Gauntlet there. We'll see. Hopefully, it should shift. So I don't know if my friend's birthday will fall on the same weekend, but either way, if I can make it a day, I'm going to try to make time for it next year.
Cool. Let's see. Okay, so Shimmer or Old Man, do you guys have something that you'd like to gather information for?
So I was actually considering, I don't know if it falls under gather information, so tell me if this fits.
Sure.
Modifying the ship so that it would be easier to ambush the rest of them.
I swear I was thinking about the exact same thing this whole time.
Good. Okay. Yeah.
You torques. Yeah, I think what you could be angling for then is to expose a vulnerability, the target, right?
The other option would be to modify the ship so that it still looks like, so it would lure them in, like it looks untouched, or it looks like they could just grab it again. Either or.
Yeah, I think that would be fine. Either one would be good. And then mechanically on the engagement roll, you'd get a better engagement roll because of it. So
there's a couple keys that we want to go for here. One is making them feel pretty secure and normal up until the moment where they're completely like done for. So I mean, there's like a few angles we could take with that.
And I kind of like the idea of setting traps or something like that. I have this image of like maybe an electrified floor that we all have boots that would protect us or prevent us from getting hit by it or something like that.
I like that.
do you guys have you guys have special so I think let's see. You have specialized tech already, so that could be a thing that you could do on the fly, possibly, as well. We just need to decide how mechanically we want to go about doing it. Because specialized tech is just anything that you can think of tech-wise that you would need right now to do the thing. But mechanically, if we wanted to get some fiction for particularly exposing a vulnerability to the target, that would be good for the engagement roll. So yeah, we could do like a modify roll to set up these things, and then we can just add them into the engagement roll, if that sounds good. Because I think chances are when we do the engagement roll, the first obstacle is going to be exactly that, right? Is like, how well do you catch them off balance when you do the trick, right? And you're like, actually, we're here to kill you. So, does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Okay, cool. So do you want to do a modify roll for me, and then we'll just treat it as a normal roll instead of a crafting thing. We'll deal with any consequences that might come from it.
Should we both do it, or should I support you, Shimmer?
I mean, either way on that. I mean, like, do you think there's a difference, Fraser, between like one of us helping the other on it, or doing like a group roll for it?
No, it just depends on what you want to do, because like mechanically, if you do a group roll, you have a better chance of success, like a 6 on one of the dies. It could cause whoever's leading the action stress, or you could just give it an assist die as well, and just in the fiction you're doing the same things. So it just depends.
I kind of like the idea of a group roll, because then we can both add to the fiction about what the kinds of things that we're adding.
Sure, yeah, I like that.
Okay, so let's do a group roll. I'm fine with either of us being in the lead for it. I've only got 1 stress, so I'm not too worried about that currently.
Okay, so is this risky?
It's in a control position with standard effect.
Okay.
Cool. And Shimmer, are you rolling too?
Okay, so I roll that as well.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I forgot how these worked. Position control, effect standard, no bonus dice.
6. There you go. So it's perfect. Awesome. And nobody gets stressed because you guys all pass with flying colors. So yeah, why don't each of you give us a little bit of fiction of what you're like adding and stuff like that then?
So I think that old man is digging around, and he has, there's like a control box where all of the wiring that we described before feed into. And we kind of taken a little bit of care to, during the downtime, to kind of make it look a little bit better and kind of put it back into its place. And now's the time when we pull it back out, we make it look kind of janky again. Like it's just been kind of ripped up. But in reality, I think this is connected into like a wire grate floor that's downstairs. And normally this is what we'd be kind of dancing on during the party phase. But in reality, this is now connected into the power grid. So it will shock the crap out of anyone. But we have these large, 4-inch boots that are rubberized to prevent them from getting to us.
Cool. I like that. What about Shimmer? What does Shimmer add?
So I think that I kind of want to entrap them here. So I've got kind of like a couple ideas here. One would be kind of getting the doors to basically slide shut, lock on their own, like once we take them into like the room that we're kind of luring them into. The other would be that once they're there, once this electric panel goes into place, we also have a couple of murder holes I've sort of like, disguised with, probably like some really basic, one-way glass, so that when the time comes, we've got a couple of machine guns or submachine guns that they'll be shocked, caught off guard, and we'll be able to just mow them down.
Cool. Okay. Sounds like These people are in for a treat.
I also
Sounds
like
good.
the idea that I think we also outfit it with like a kind of a dead man switch or something like that. So if things go all to hell, we close those murder holes and just, bomb the crap. So sink the whole damn boat with everybody on it.
I love the I love murder holes. That's great. Okay, cool. So let's see. Awesome. I think you guys are pretty good then. Should we move to launching the plan? Cool. So the idea here, so yeah, like I don't think we even need a roll to see if they'll come because they obviously will. uh, we just do the engagement roll to see how well the trap placed on them works, right? And so it was, who did I name here? Not manufactured life. Oh yeah, Hugo, right? Yeah, Hugo. You're getting Hugo and the other porters to come. Hugo and his crew are the ones that are currently staying in the ship. There's gonna be, I'll just roll fortune to see how many there are. Oh wow, that's bad for you guys. So there'll be, let's say, including Hugo, there's 4 of you. Let's say there's 8, and you guys have runners actually too. So let's say there's like 10, and then you guys can bring your runners as well, though. Your gang, because we haven't really seen them do much either. It'd be fun to see that. And a reminder, your runners are scouts, infiltrators, couriers of data, and thieves.
I've also got conditioning, so I can push myself to engage a small gang on equal footing in close combat.
Oh, there you go. So there's some fun. Cool. So I'm just gonna, before I forget, make a clock for them. I think I'll just delete the porters find out one because I think it's gonna be not a thing that matters pretty quick here. Awesome. So you tell them that you found the ship. If they want it, they can come get it, but they'll have to meet you there. And like you have control of the ship right now. If they want to get control of the ship back from you, then pay you, right? Cool. I like that. And then this, I think
One thing we could add to this, maybe. I mean, like the other question I'm thinking is how we lure them to exactly where in the ship that we want them. So we could tell them potentially that we've gotten like a captive, that like one of the people that stole the ship, that we haven't gotten information out of them yet. But that we do have, we'll say they're like pretty beat up. I mean, but we've got that way we have something to kind of lure them into the ship to hand that off to them.
I kind of like the idea of it being like Cross there, right? Like Cross is sitting on a chair bound with like a head thing or whatever, and you're like, okay, there's the person that you need to get the information from or whatever. They like walk in, take off the hood, and they're like, what's this? And then it becomes like all action movie, right? I like that a lot. Okay, cool. So who wants to do the engagement roll?
Shall I?
You will?
Yes.
Okay. So you start out with 1 for sheer luck, right? Is this particularly bold or daring? What do we think?
I feel like murder is bold and or daring.
Okay. In terms of the plan, the deception, I think it is too, right? Like you want to eradicate their entire presence.
And we're lying to them on a big scale. We went to like their main bodyguard and we're like pretty much straight up about like who we were and what our deal was. Like, I mean, there's a pretty big risk in that. So
It's true. It's true. Is it overly complex or contingent on many factors?
I
Really
don't know if
murder
it's
as it might be.
yeah, I don't know if it's overly complex. It's definitely contingent on a little bit of factors, but like I don't know overly complex. Like
Yeah, especially for deception, there has to be like we have to contextualize it within the deception plan.
It seems like the big thing that is contingent on is getting them where we want them without kind of them catching on to things. And I don't think that there's a lot of other stuff beyond that it's contingent on.
yeah.
Right. Does this plan expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest? Yes, you guys did your legwork. They will not see the getting shocked and getting blown apart the stuff, ostensibly at least. So you're at 3 dice so far. Are they strongest against this approach or have particular defenses? No, you removed that because they don't have backup, right? Can any friends or contacts help you?
I have a career criminal friend.
Oh, but they left, didn't they, or something? Yeah, I think that you.
I have no more friends.
Yeah, wasn't there like an entanglement where they left or something?
It might have been.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
I vaguely recall this.
What about our runners? Could they do anything in this case?
It's specifically for friends or contacts.
Okay.
Like mechanically, those are things.
I mean, we could also include our rivals for an XP later, but a negative die now.
It's true.
If you wanted to do that.
Does anyone have a rival?
I have a rival. I'm not actually sure they would be appropriate though. So my rival is Askel or Axel, a structure hitter. So I'm not sure Axel would really show up with the porters. So
Yeah, maybe not.
My rival is a retired haunt that could have tipped off the porters.
Sure. Do you want to
that
do
is
that?
totally true.
Do you want to do that?
You know what? Let's do it.
Okay.
What's one less dice?
Right. Okay, so everyone can mark XP then too. And any other elements, it's a higher tier than you. So I think that takes you to 1 dice now, right? Because it's sheer luck, bold and daring, exposes a detail, don't have friends, right? So rivals, though, takes it down to 2, and then elements tier above you is 1. So
Figuring out these engagement roles is always such a roller coaster.
yeah. Oh, so you're in a desperate position. So I guess that haunt was very effective in that, right? So interesting. How would this go?
Very interesting. We thought we were so ready.
Yeah. So I think like you take them to that area of the ship that's booby trapped and everything, right? You Cross is sitting in the chair. You all are like, this is the person that you need to talk to about this. And before they go to take off Cross's hood, and they would be all like, "Oh, what's going on?" and all that kind of stuff, right? The Hugo turns to his men and sort of like smiles and nods, and they like all draw their weapons, and they say, "We'll be taking your lives and the ship." So everyone's in a desperate position because that didn't work too well. So what do people do? Let me pull the table real quick. Gabrish, what would you do?
I have a big idea that requires a lengthy flashback.
Okay.
I want to do some magical hacking that creates a field on the boat that disables projectile weapons.
Oh shit. Okay.
Or somehow put a virus in our guns. That's probably a simpler way to realize that.
Okay. A virus in their guns.
Yeah, I like that better actually.
Okay. Interesting. So is it like a flashback where we're back in that bar and you're talking to Elspeth and be like, I need you to do one more thing? And she's the one that
Yeah.
puts it in the guns kind of thing? Or what did you have in mind?
Or it could be
Yeah, that's what-
transmitted from his tattoos, right? From your tattoos, it could be transmitted into their guns via proximity.
Oh, that's really interesting. That's super cool. Yes, actually, because like 10,000 sessions ago, I remember I said that like a British can basically redo their tattoos whenever because of their skin business. So yeah, I think I re-tattooed myself with these wacky viral tattoos.
Cool. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
So, interesting. Will we?
Maybe it's like a role to.
I think it would
no,
be
I don't know.
acquiring an asset.
Hmm.
Is what it would be,
Yeah,
and you
that makes
want to
sense.
get the one tier above you, right? So it might cost you some bucks
Yeah.
to do this.
Okay. I'm gonna modify because that's how I'm realizing tattooing. And
Well,
also constructing
first do the tier roll though, to get the thing.
Oh, okay. I thought that was I would roll a skill.
No, the acquiring an asset is a tier roll. So you'd spend a jewel, you'd spend one stress to do the flashback, and then we'd acquire the asset, which I guess is this funky ink stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then
Uh,
and then you can do the roll to be like, your guns don't work no mo. There you go. So it's your tier, so you'd have to spend one more jewel. And then it would be good because you're tier 2.
Okay, I'll do that.
Life.
I have bad news though.
What?
That one stress traumaed me out.
What? At the okay.
I was in prison all last session. I was very stressed.
Right. Apparently.
Well, I mean, it's also like when you're invoking the flashback. I mean, we're already looking at a difficult situation. I mean,
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
Right. Okay.
Fine.
So interesting. So you trauma out back then because it's a flashback, right? So
Or do you trauma out now, like as the thing goes off?
Maybe it's like yeah, maybe it's like very stressful. You know.
But like maybe we see like all the tattoos like glow or something, and then Gabrish just faints and like falls to the ground.
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, sure.
That's
I like
what I'm
that.
thinking. That's more what I meant when I was like, it's very stressful. I just
Right.
didn't complete my thought.
Okay, so roll to see how well this works on them as well. You said you're modify them. It could be like a hack as well,
Yeah,
right?
I think it's maybe a hack then in this case because I was thinking modify for like getting the tattoos like on me or whatever, but
Oh,
to like make the virus go zap into their guns.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in a desperate situation for
That's right.
sure. Disabling like 8 people's guns or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and limited effect. But do you have anything that can bump up this stuff?
I have fine hacking gear.
Oh, actually, you'll have standard effect because you increased your asset to the same tier as them, right?
Oh, yeah, with the
And fine
With the
hacking gear,
business.
so you'll have great effect
Mhm.
on them, but it's a desperate roll. And you'll be out of the current obstacle, which means that if you don't get a 6 and I introduce a complication, someone else might have to resist for you, right?
Yeah.
So we'll
Sorry,
see.
you guys. Great effect.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is there possibly anything I could do to get another dice?
Someone could assist you if you brought them in on the plan. Cross might know about it.
Or you know, I could be present in your flashback modifying your tattoo since I'm familiar with your arm and
Yeah.
did some of that modification.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. That's a good scene too. I have like I'm putting viruses into my skin. That's probably very risky.
Yes.
In
one
this
would think.
feature, who knows how viruses interact with the body?
Right.
MSI 1, please.
So mechanically, are you taking 1 stress to assist then, Steve?
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you. Submit. Oh, the anticipation is real for this one.
A 5, so that's not too bad, except it's a desperate roll. Okay, so desperate roll. You do it, but there's a consequence. You suffer severe harm. A serious complication occurs. You have reduced effect. Let's see. Also, you'll trauma out, and it's up to you how you get out of the obstacle as well, right? But let's see. What do I want this?
Mechanically, how does traumaing out work? Mechanically.
So mechanically, what happens is you choose whatever trauma it is. You reset your stress gauge completely, and then you have access to all the XP triggers for dealing with your trauma and working through it and all that kind of stuff,
Okay.
or playing into it as well. So you could play into being cold or reckless or whatever, and that will give you more XP. However, when you mark your 4th trauma, you're out of the game. You like retire or die or whatever, however you want to get them out of there. And
Very cool.
if you retire your character, your bars of lifestyle there dictate how well your retirement goes, essentially. So, ooh, I think. Okay, and you had great effect, right? Yeah, cool. So I think what happens is, we get the moment where they're like, we're gonna take the ship and your lives, and they point their guns at you, and then we just get the like click 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 thing, right? um and they throw down their weapons, and like half of them pull out swords instead, right? Like some kind of cool cyber weaponry. Oh yeah, in Heck the Planet, I have like these cool sort of katanas where you grip the handle, and they're like carbon fiber. They extend, and some of them extend into katanas, some of them extend into sort of like bow staff looking things, stuff like that. However, yeah, so I just lowered your effect from great to standard. So half of them have no weapon, and half of them do have a weapon. And then what happens with you? How do you trauma out? What do we see?
I think I'm going with soft. I think is the one that works really well for this one. Like, Gabrish just couldn't handle the load. Like, this was more than pushing. This is pushing themselves like way further than they should have. So I think that I think it is just fainting, like getting like literally knocked out. I don't know if
And
there's
in the scene though, what do we see like for the virus happening? Like, is it some cool CG burst EMP thing from your body, or is it like yeah, like what would we see in the movie? How would the audience know that their guns were messed up by you?
sure. I think that I really wish that augmented reality were part of this, because I would say that the tattoos just go off my body and into their gun, but I don't know how that would actually happen. I think that it's maybe it's like something like a projection or something, you know, like Gabrisha's entire body with their like artificial skin system and these tattoos. It like, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking actually. But it's like, well, yeah. So maybe I think it's that Gabrisha's body becomes like a projector, which sounds like very not great. But and then probably as they're like fainting, this whole image is like of the tattoos lifting off of their skin and then like going into the barrels of their gun, and then like the zoom in through the gun and as if it were getting like mechanically messed up, but it's like then it goes back out and it just shows them clicking their guns and stuff like that and clicking the triggers or whatever, and they can't shoot.
Click, click, click. Cool. Okay, Shimmer, what would you do?
So I was hoping to be even like not even like noticeable to them in this scene, like hiding somewhere. Have they like caught on to that too? Do I still have that? Or is it something where I'm going to have to kind of like duck away and like reposition if I want to be able to like actually surprise them?
You can do that. It's just that everyone's in a desperate position until people work to be in a better position. So you can still totally be like, they haven't noticed me, but the desperation is that like you're taking on 8 people or whatever,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, cool. So I'm still like behind the murder hole, obviously. Like ready to start gunning people down. I mean, the tattoo fibers just affected their weapons, right? Or does it affect everybody?
I think it's just their weapons, right?
Okay, yeah, then I'm like gunning the hell out of them, like trying to do like as much damage as possible. Hopefully pushing wreck, because this isn't like head on, like, you know, one-on-one like combat. Also because I'm really bad at like head on like combat.
Cool. Okay. And then before we do that, I just want to pull the table because sometimes it makes it so that people want to do group actions or assist and all that kind of stuff. So, what would Old Man be doing?
So I think Old Man, whenever they pull their guns out and point them, he would kind of step back into the shadows, you know, put up his hands and kind of step back. But while that's happening, I think that's when he would electrify the floor.
Ooh, cool. Okay. And what about Cross?
So like I imagine if the floor is about to be electrified and we have established I'm sitting in a chair, like as like the bait of like who they are, but they recognize it. It's totally like me just like lifting my feet off the floor as it gets electrified, rolling back and then like moving my hands to like the wooden limbs of the chair legs that I'm sitting on. As I roll back, like grab it and just like flip it into somebody's face as I start just going all out like River Tam at like the end of Serenity, like that type of like just going crazy on people with weapons.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's a pretty good ability then, Darren. Okay, so roll an extra die to see if that you would have got a better result level instead.
Okay.
And then we'll increase the... And you would have had extreme effect then, right?
Extreme. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, but the serious complication is that they have other weapons, that's all.
Oh my god. Roll 20.
And then if you got a 6, then that would be good.
Oh, let's see. Come on. You can do it.
Okay, so it was a 5 anyway. So still same thing. So here's the thing. I think that what might be happening then from the polling is Old Man, I think, might be doing a setup action that either one of you guys could take advantage of. Cross could take advantage of it when messing people up. Shimmer could definitely take advantages of as well. So why don't we get Old Man to electrify the stuff first, as a just to be transparent about it, as a complication, and I will probably also get Gabrage to be hurt since they're lying on the floor.
I thought about that. I was going to be like, oh man, please drive me away.
Yeah.
I don't think Old Man gives a shit. Just
Okay, wants
cool.
to see him burn.
Cool.
okay. So
It's okay. That's...
What role do you think it is?
So I think it's so putting it together was a tinker roll. Does that apply, or would this be something more like wreck?
It's probably wreck because you're trying to use it to hurt a whole bunch of folks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any moves that would be pertinent with it as well?
I don't think so.
No?
No. Invent or craft or street dock modify the human body, so I don't think so.
Cool.
Risky.
I would be. You're still in a desperate situation.
Desperate.
Yeah.
Okay. And effect.
Is gonna be. It'll be standard because
Standard.
it's the
Okay.
whole. It's the whole floor, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So
And
you're
then-
able to affect people.
And then I can take a bonus die if I need, or if I want to, by either taking 2 stress or taking a what's it called again? A ripple.
Yeah. Does anyone have a good ripple to offer?
Your boots don't work.
Oh, that would be good. That would
I
hurt.
That's maybe a little severe.
I think I'll just take the stress.
Sure.
Yeah. And submit.
Cool.
Oh.
Okay. So that's not the best, especially with a desperate action. So, desperate. It's the worst outcome. You suffer severe harm, a serious complication occurs, you lose this opportunity for action. So I think,
How do you resist consequences?
you'll I'll tell you what happens, and then you just say nope, basically. So it's the worst outcome, serious complication. Yeah. So I think what happens is you raise your hands, you shrink back, you like hit the button or whatever, right? And your hand like reaches for the button, but the person closest to you with the katana is like very quick, and they like impale your arm as it's reaching for this thing. Is it like a button that you click, or is it on the wall, or what is
I
the...
actually think that this is a button that's in my cybernetic implant.
Oh, okay. So
So
yeah,
I think I have my hands and go to hit this, and they,
yeah, and then I think they just like impale your hand into the wall type thing, right? Unless you'd like to resist that.
and resisting is where I'd make a resistance roll, and it's then I take stress related to what the d6 is.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'd like to resist that and see if I can potentially get that to work.
Sure. So what do you do?
I think that I'd probably tear through. It's the arm's kind of impaled against the wall, and I think I know how to move the arm so that it slices through more of the muscle, so I can still get to press the button. However, it does more damage through as it cuts the sword cuts through.
So you're able to resist the consequence, but not the outcome. So you're not able to hit it because you failed the roll. But you can circumvent getting your arm impaled.
Oh,
if you
I see.
Like.
So how does that look? Yeah, I think that basically what happens is the katana, instead of impaling my arm, then slides past and kind of covers the button so that I can't get to it.
Ah, cool. Yes, yeah. I like that. And so what do you think that is? Is that prowess? Is it a physical thing?
Yeah.
Cool. So if you hit prowess, the actual button, it should set up the resistance roll for you.
Okay. And no bonus dice.
No bonus dice. Right. Yeah. There. So you just take 2 stress for that.
Okay.
Cool. So no benefits of a setup action there, but who would like to go next, Shimmer or Cross?
I'll go.
Cool. So you're launching some kind of sneaky attack?
Yeah, sneaky machine gun attack. So I'm in hiding. I'm behind the murder hole, but it's like, like I said, the whole idea of the trap is that, hopefully they don't know that anything at all is out of place until the moment that they know that they're fucked. Unfortunately, they did know things were out of place, but this is still like the moment. And like at this point, like it's not about stealth. Like I've got like a machine gun and I'm like ready to mow people down.
Cool. And is this you? You're like behind that plexiglass with the machine guns, and you let them have it. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so what action do you think that is?
I'm trying to push Rec with it.
Cool. Okay, I'll buy it.
Position's still desperate, right?
Yeah, no one has improved the position just yet.
All right. Effect standard, I'm guessing.
um,
What do you think? I don't know about the.
I think it would be limited because you're targeting a lot of people with that,
Okay.
right? And you can push yourself to get more effect, or if you have items, you can get more effect from that as well.
Like items like beyond like pushing, like marking off like a large weapon for like the machine gun. Would that be like a case of?
You'd want something that was fine.
Okay. I do not have that. So you know what? I'll push myself for the effect because Lord knows we need it.
Yes, that's good.
So I'll get us to standard effect. Bonus dice, none.
Okay, cool. So a mid result on that. Also, I should be marking these clocks. Cool. So this is what the porter's clock is right now. And so desperate roll, consequence. Severe harm, serious complications. You've reduced effect. I think the the consequence is going to be, so you shoot a bunch of them, right? The consequence though is that it's the limited effect is going to come into place. So you do the matrix thing where you like do the submachine into them or whatever, and I think even a couple of the ones that you target, we get like the action sequence where they get shot in the chest multiple times and they like do the like and, like hit the back of the wall, but then they like kind of smile back at you and like rip open their shirts and they've got like the body armor there that took a couple of them, right? I think a couple of them are like holding their sides or whatever, but yeah, and you can resist that consequence too, you know.
Yeah, sure. Can I resist that with prowess?
Sure. And is that like, you know that they're wearing armor and you shoot them places where they don't?
I shoot for the fucking head.
Sounds good.
Why would I put on a vest? I expect you to aim for the head.
Sounds good.
So for rolling that resist roll, I've got 3 of the basic dots in prowess. So I roll 3d6 and then see how that goes.
Yeah, the highest roll you'll deduct 6 minus the highest roll to see how much stress that you have.
Highest roll's a 4.
So 2 stress is what you take for resisting that consequence.
Fine. Starting to get some stress. This is great.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so instead of doing the like getting shot back against the wall or whatever, instead we just get like the slow motion shots or something of
I think what we get instead is like first we see like the first couple of hit that and they're like, oh yeah, shit's cool, haha, we're punking you. But then like the next, like after that, like it's just headshot after headshot after headshot.
Oh, okay. So those guys survive, but 2 other ones are just like thunk.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Even one of them gets like the headshot afterwards. Like, fuck that.
That's good. Okay, so Cross, what are you doing?
So what are we looking at? Just like a handful of people left?
There was 8, and now there would be 6. And then mechanically, you're looking at the clock there. So you've got 3, 6, 9, 2.
Okay, so like I think what this is like, as I described before, it's like totally a wooden chair. Like I roll back on there, and then like as like I expected the electric floor to go, but it didn't happen. But like I'm still like landing back, and then like you know how the back leg of a chair can go like up into like the backrest. I think it's me like grabbing and like twisting and then like pulling out, and like this just long fine katana comes out of that that where it was hidden. And so like then I'm just wielding like that like katana through all of this stuff with my conditioning. I engage a small gang on equal footing in close combat. And I've got a fine katana, which gives me some additional like support there. So
you're a risky great instead
yeah,
of desperate. Finally, not a desperate roll.
yeah.
If you want to push it to desperate, I'll give you more ticks on that clock, though.
I will totally push it to desperate to get more ticks on that clock.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'll give you 2 more ticks on that clock.
Cool. And I totally think like what it is like as like I pull the katana out with one hand, there's definitely like the other hand is grabbing the rest of the chair and just like smashing it across somebody's face as like it's all one fluid action that's going across in this.
Right.
Cool.
So desperate great.
Yeah, desperate great. Submit great. I will probably push myself for do I want to push myself for another die or for extreme effect? Kind of want to push it for extreme effect.
Sure. If you succeed, I'll give you more ticks that way.
Yeah. And what is I was gonna say, is there a ripple that people have?
Desperate's already like fuck up,
Right.
you're dead. So I don't know.
I think I'm good then. I'm gonna keep my dice. I'm gonna that should be one effect higher because I had already gone to
extreme.
Right. It should be extreme. But either way, I got a 3, so
yeah. So with extreme though, you're still getting more ticks than just 1, which is good. So you're still at that even failing, which is still good. However, cool. I think you're taking on a whole bunch of them, right?
And oh yeah, I'm taking on a whole bunch of them. I'm a small gang.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to go pretty hard.
Yeah, I got all 4 dots in prowess to resist this.
Right. Okay. Cool. So I think it's actually going to have to be 2 resistance rolls though, because one is you like impale a guy, you get your sword stuck in there like as you're removing it because the meat sticks, and the guy like puts his katana impaling you like through the thigh so that you like are in place, and then another one comes at your side and like puts it in your like sideways and up, like aiming for your heart basically, right?
Yeah.
So you would take fatal harm.
Yeah, I'm not going to take fatal harm because like as I get the katana stuck in the first guy's chest, my foot comes off to pull it off of him, and like as he tries to stab me, I just kind of rotate just enough and with my elbow push the blade towards the other guy who's coming at me.
Oh snap. Okay, sounds good. So resist that one.
Yeah.
Whoa,
look at that.
3 6s. Okay, so a crit on a resistance roll is you get stress back, but you have an additional benefit. Do you want that to be more ticks on the clock?
Sure,
because it sounds like that guy's gonna be dead.
I like to tick on the clock. That sounds great.
Okay, I'll give you. It's a 6, so technically it should be 3 ticks. You're actually. I'll give you 2, I guess then.
Sure, that works.
And then we're at that, so you're doing quite well.
This is literally what this character is made for.
Yeah. And so yeah, instead you like dart out of the way, and then that guy is killed instead of you, right?
And I just smile at him.
What do you do about the person that comes in your side and gives you fatal harm, though, up into your chest and up to your heart?
What do I do about him? I think that I've already done a lot from the prowess, and I think it's I try to move and I realize it just a little bit too late that it's coming in, but I think I can move just enough that like they're gonna stab me, so I'm still gonna get wounded, but it's gonna be I can move and just like take I'm gonna resist with resolve of like still take some wound, but not have it be fatal as like they stab me and their blade gets stuck and I just like kind of grab onto their handle and then pulling the blade from like the guy. I finally get it out of the other guy and just like come and bring it back across them.
Cool.
Right.
So you know that you could resist with prowess again too if you wanted to.
I could, but I think this is
funner, yeah.
More fun.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Cool. So let's see how well that goes then. Cool. So 2 stress.
Yep.
So you can bump that down from fatal to 3, and then are you going to use armor as well?
Yeah, I'll totally use armor as well.
Cool.
So I'll bump it down to it too. So
cool. And if you use heavy armor, you can bump it down to 1 as well, but that's 5 load, which is a lot.
It is a lot, and I don't think I would have been set as heavy coming in here if I was going to be the bait.
Right. Makes sense.
So
good point.
I'll just use the armor.
You can just take some items off Cabrace's body, lying lifelessly next to you. Well, not lifelessly, but
just using it as a pack mule.
Yeah. Okay, what else do you guys... Let's make sure that we're... Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't missing any crew moves that you guys had that might be pertinent as well, and it seems like not. Okay, so there's... Mechanically, we're just 2 ticks away. So what do people want to do? Sounds like maybe there's like 1 guy left, right? And Cross is probably like huffing and puffing a little bit there with some blood, and I guess it's
holding the sword that is stabbed into me there as I cut down one last guy, and there's still one other person standing over there.
Right, and mechanically you need a mid result on this. And you're no longer in a desperate situation. You're in a risky situation. So what do people want to do? Shimmer, old man. Do you guys do a group action to take out this last guy or what?
I can totally assist just by holding the sword in my hand and like holding my free sword pointing at the guy. I'm like, I'm coming for you next.
I mean, I think maybe like, I've run out of, ammo for at least my clip for the machine gun. This guy seems like he's probably pretty focused on Cross. So I might be able to just, grab my backup weapon, a sledgehammer, like walk up behind him and then just like close it out with like the kill, like straight to the dome.
Cool. What action do you think that is?
I could see it being a ghost or a wreck. I'm better at wreck, so I'd rather do that, but I'm pretty good at ghost as well.
Sure. Well, if you went ghost, it's all about like you not wanting the person to see you do it. If you do wreck, then it's kind of like you're definitely messing the person up overtly.
Right. Well, my goal is kind of to do both. Like he's not going to see me he's not going to see me because I'm coming up behind him. But like the wreck, I think, is the more clear angle here.
And I think so. I picture this as on screen as this is the guy who has the sword through, or has the sword blocking old man's button, and so Shimmer's coming up behind him. An old man distracts him by trying to grab a hold of the blade or something like that, so that he's focused on me rather than on Shimmer.
Okay, sounds good. So you're taking stress to lend a die to Shimmer? Cool.
All right, nice.
And it'll be a risky standard effect.
Mm-hmm. All right, so wreck, risky.
You need a mid result to take out
1 bonus.
Oh, a 6. Yeah, so he's
That's
real.
gonna be good. I got so many dice. Yeah.
He's dead real good. So describe what happens.
I mean, unfortunately, both myself and Old Man are probably going to get some brains and blood on us as like I said, over the top, just kind of like smash his head like completely in. His body just kind of crumples to the ground.
Yeah. And that's when Garage wakes up. Because the obstacle is over.
If their guns go off, why is there so much blood?
Yeah, maybe you wake up because like there's like a pool of blood that is like pooling against your face.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I like wipe it.
it's just Cross like pulling the sword out from her chest.
Probably Gabrish probably vomits. Now there's blood and vomit.
Great. So the murder hole is aptly named, I guess. The murder hole is complete. Cool. Okay, so yeah, all the porters are dead. Here's the question. Does this turn into something else where you is this like a message that you're just been like telling the Rust like don't send more ships, or is this like going to be a thing where you get rid of the bodies and stuff like that, or what? How are you handling the like kind of end game or whatever of this?
What if it's to send a message to the rest to send ships to us instead? We want to take over this water business.
Interesting.
And then the ultimatum being like, it's coming to us, or we're going to keep killing your crews and taking your ships anyway.
Yeah, you can still have business. It just happens to be that we're the people you're dealing with now.
Okay. Interesting. So is this a claim that you took then? It sounds like you're taking territory from them.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Because then we could also keep pushing that too. Like if we want to get more of the business, then we could just take more of the turf from the porters.
Do you have a protection racket?
Well,
that's the next business we're taking over.
Well, what would like? Is there anything on in the sheet that you think applies to this mission?
I mean, protection racket or cover operation.
Yeah, that's what
word of mouth could even work.
Yeah, word of mouth could work too.
I guess it depends on like if we're swooping in and being stealthy about taking over, or if we're like, hey, we're the new porters now.
Yeah.
Protection racket is interesting.
Because it sounds like you're running their business.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like. It could also be cover operation because maybe you have legitimate businesses or whatever now, right?
We now have legitimate business.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's how I put it.
Opposed to being guns for hire, which is also legitimate business.
Yes.
I kind of like that cover operation.
Yeah.
I'm putting my vote in for that one.
Oops.
We're just honest water dealers.
Yeah. Everybody needs some water, and we just happen to be the ones who deal it to you. And if you want some food, we've got some of that too. And if you want a gun for hire, we might know a few people.
But only legitimate businessmen who would protect you.
Right, bodyguards. That's what we're here for. We're here for bodyguards.
Okay, so you're not making money off this, you're using it as a cover. That sound good to everybody?
Sounds awesome.
Cool. Okay, so good, good. All right, let's do the fallout from this then. Boo. Okay, so you earn 2 rep per score by default. If the target of the score is higher tier than you, then take +1. Yes, so that's 3. So 3. And you're at 2 already, so you're at 5. Cool. Coin. Interesting. A minor job, a small job, a standard score, a big score, a major score.
From coin perspective, I'm not sure this is a big score, but like it felt like a big score of like muscling in on something.
Yeah, like this could be the abstraction of you getting paid the like stuff in the future, right? And then
Right.
mechanically you get the cover operation, but the jewels is to like abstract all of the benefits throughout the foreseeable future of getting these ships and operating them and all of that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, we're running it very close to margins because what we care more about is the cover margin, or the cover, than the actual making a profit out of it.
Right, that makes sense. Okay, so yeah, let's do a big score, 8 jewels, and you can divvy it up however you like. And now you have a big vault, so that's good. How close are you to? Oh, you're only like 3 rep away as well from being able to cheer up.
I mean, with 4 of us, I would say 2 apiece makes sense.
Yep.
We'll be here next session, so feel free to
Don't pay Gabrish.
beef it up for you guys. Narratively, I got paid, but
We could throw
mechanically.
your 2 into the crew vault.
Yeah.
Okay, heat. Smooth and quiet. What do we think? Contained, smooth and quiet, contained, loud and chaotic, wild. What do people think?
I would say contained, not smooth and quiet, but I also don't think it was wild. Like, I think contained is about right.
Yeah. If it's high profile or well connected, add +1 heat. Oh, yes. The rust is very well connected. Did it happen on hostile turf? No, it happened on your turf. If you're at war with another faction, not yet, but you're you're going that way. And then +2 if killing was involved, but you have a move that gets rid of that.
Yeah, we have firewall.
And then with your cover operation, you remove that, so you get 1 heat. So that was a pretty good thing to choose, I guess.
Yeah.
Cool. And then we have, oh, that's good. So we've got like a little bit to do a quick downtime, and then maybe Gabrish can get a proper send-off type thing, right? Cool. Okay, let's start with downtime with Gabrish then.
What is there for me to do? Let's see. Oh, that's. I think that.
Does Gabrish steal all the money and run away?
I mean, it could just be you
God.
setting up like fictionally some other thing that your project that you're working on, even if like you're not planning on fixing it, because I know, Fraser, you said that we might return to this in August.
Yeah, it'll probably be a thing like Jason's running of Dungeon World, where,
Right.
or even like Mercy Falls, where I take like a month or 2 break and then I'll put it on the schedule again at some point. I'll keep all of these things so that we can continue to get stories out of them and stuff.
Yeah, then maybe I'll do a long-term project. What do I want to get? There's too many options.
Well, there's a, remember that what about this clock? What about doing something about that?
Oh, the haunt community.
Like, you're like, whatever. It's just my community. Whatever.
Is that a clock? Or for that one? Is the like I can subtract from it, or do I need to do like a thing to stop it entirely, like a separate?
Yeah, we could do a
Whatever.
tug of war clock where you can remove pieces from it as well.
Okay. Well, then I will do two long. Well, yeah. So yeah, for my first one, I'll do something to remove ticks from that clock. What am I doing to distance carrion from the haunts? Can I like? No, not that one. I don't know. I'm thinking I want to like maybe try and leverage the Steve somehow on carrion to like maybe somehow associate the constant gardeners with the haunts or something like that. Maybe position them as an asset and be like, hey, maybe don't.
Cool. Yeah, because we know that the Steve is somewhere with Carrion, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know if we have like direct contact to him, but like somehow leverage that like the Steve was part of the gardeners, and now I know that with you. And
cool. So what action is that? We'll just treat it like reducing heat. I'll subtract it like that.
I think maybe it's a consort, right? Because
Sure.
I'm like trying to leverage these community connections, and like I'm not telling them to go away because they're carrying. But also I'm not like offering them anything. I don't have any leverage.
Sounds good.
Wait, I'm rolling network, right?
Network it up.
Okay. Oh my gosh, come on, roll 20. Oh. The man. And
Oh, nice.
yes.
3. So
Not bad.
like that. Cool. And first downtime action for Shimmer.
Oh, she's definitely like completely partying. Now that we've got this boat set up, and that she is also super stressed out.
And so, is your indulging of the vices the partying, or?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. My main vice is pleasure, so she's probably taking like some kind of like crazy future drug cocktail with some psychedelic component at this like dance party, and kind of like losing herself for an indeterminate period of time.
Yeah, the Wired crew has a drug called Sunshine where you put on glasses, like 80s glasses with the like stripped lines in them or whatever, and then you push a button on it and it flashes in your eyes to inject the drug. And it's a hallucinogenic that makes you think that you're outside when you're not. So like when you hit it and you're dancing or whatever, you would see like rays of sunshine and you're like on grass all of a sudden and like all that kind of stuff. So maybe that's what you're.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
So how do the stress relief, whatever it's called, rolls look like?
You roll your weakest insight, prowess, or resolve.
Okay, so it's going to be 1d6 in resolve.
Cool.
There's also an indulge vice button on the sheet right above all the like the trauma things. So
Fun times. An indulge vice button on the sheet right above all of the trauma things. Perfect.
Yeah.
I haven't been marking. I've got my separate sheet here. I'll just quickly 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stress right now. 5 indulge the vice. 0 bonus dice. That's
go.
a 4. Great.
Yeah. So you get rid of 4 stress.
All right. I'm feeling much more relaxed now.
Yeah, all you need is drugs. Bump, ba-da-da. Cool. What about old man?
So old man is also going to indulge his vice, which is luxury. And what this looks like, I think we've done this before, where he has a sort of a cafe hotel kind of place that he goes to that reminds him of what it's like to be in the founder locations, up in the higher tiers of society. And he, we see him back at the shop, kind of putting on a nice jacket and all of that, and he shaves and he looks really presentable, and he goes back to this location and he sits down and he has a very nice dinner. There's, classical music playing, and there's waiters to bring you your food, and he just sits back in a nice posh chair and just sips his drink and slowly eats, just like he doesn't have a care in the world.
Cool. Let's see if that's true. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. 5 stress gone.
Nice.
Cool. Cross.
So I've got two things I want to do, and I think they're very much related. One of them is I need to get healing because I just have a 2 harm wound that I need to deal with in some manner. And then I also need to indulge vice because I need to get rid of stress. Um, but let's start with the healing. And then I think what would be cool, regardless of how healing actually happens, is me going to like Gabrish and like trying like getting Gabrish to like whatever the scar would be, is turning that scar into like a tattoo of probably like a ship, like an ice, like the type of ship that we just took, sort of as like a reminder of like where we were, what we were doing when I got this thing.
By the way, my street doc move gives everyone in the crew +1d for your healing treatment rolls.
Cool. I will definitely do that. So healing, I'm just going to hit the healing button and I'm going. How many dice do I? It's just bonus dice, right? That I'm writing here? Or do I have to input the actual number of dice? Because it just says input value number of dice.
Interesting. I've never rolled.
All right. I'm just going to put 1 and see what happens.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So that only rolled 1 die. What should healing be? Like, how many dice should it be? Because I'll just roll that extra.
Healing should be 1 die.
So it should be
2.
It should be 2. So I'll just roll 1 more.
Yes.
Awesome.
Rough.
So all those 6s before turn into 1s now.
Yeah, so you get 2 ticks on your healing clock.
Yeah, that's fine. Still need to do that more. I will probably pay to do it again, like things.
Right.
Or maybe I'll. It doesn't really matter what order I do it, but I'll do my second one of just doing that again, and then pay to do indulge my vice.
Sure. Sounds good. There you go. So that's 3 ticks total because each roll is counted separately in this one.
Cool.
Cool. Gabrish.
I think that while I'm tattooing Cross, I don't really know what this is going to lead into for a second downtime action, but feel it out. But I think while tattooing Cross, Gabrish is like, Cross, do you ever dwell on the kind of stuff we do?
I don't dwell on it. I think about it. I think that what we do in general might be not the best thing in the world, but it helps the people that I care about get in a better position than what they were beforehand.
There's just something about last time. Maybe it was just waking up in a pool of blood. Then that wasn't mine.
Yeah, some of it was mine.
I think there's like Gabrish like wipes away the ink, right? And it's kind of like mixed in with like more blood, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know. It's just that seems worse than before, which sounds insane. Like I watched Yeji shove her like mucus into someone else, but I don't know. I think maybe this is the first time I thought about if I want to keep doing this.
I don't know. I thought we were fighting for the same thing, to take out Nourish. At least I thought, we both understood that they're doing some despicable things, tagging people's food, making sure that everyone knows exactly where they are, and that you can't live free if that is happening. That's why we have this garden. That's why we hit them. That's why we're getting the water, so that people can live free. I think that's a worthwhile thing.
Yeah, I need to keep that in mind. It just seemed like were the porters really necessary? I don't know if we needed to do that one.
I don't know.
Yep.
Maybe they weren't, but it's done. It's going to help us. It's going to help keep people free.
I hope so. There's like a final wipe, I think, on the tattoo, and it's like, I don't. We never got a picture of the boat, right? I'm seeing it as like I pictured it before. It's just like a freighter, which isn't too exciting. But maybe there's like it's like a typical shipping freighter, but I've like embellished it with like the birds and stuff that I usually tattoo. So there's like this like interesting scenery, like as if painted onto the side of it. That's like on top of your scar and worked into it. I don't know what downtime action this is, but maybe I'm starting a long-term project to like I think I want to do a long-term project. Maybe I'll realize it to like get more turf or something. But I think what I'm doing is I'm focusing my energy into my energy and time into working on the community that we're building to get in touch with that. Because I think I kind of want to look into this soft trauma as being like wanting to get out of the game and being like, well, I need to get reconnected with the community to see like to really remind myself why we're doing it and why I should stick around. So yeah.
Look, Gabrish, if you want to see why we do this, come with me. I'm gonna go see my buddy Orlin. We're gonna go help some people out. We now got a new gig running with the like getting water in here. That's gonna need some dock workers. And I know some people who could really use a legitimate job to earn some money and stay afloat.
Yeah, I think if yeah, I think that would be good. I think I've spent too much time cooped up in my little tattoo shop.
So are you starting a long-term project?
Yeah, maybe it's more yeah, maybe it's working with Orlin and Cross and like getting refugees integrated into the community and like yeah, making situations better. Community outreach, yeah.
Okay. Is it just more turf, maybe?
I think it might be
Or...
because I'm thinking last time with the group we got the gang from it, but I don't think the focus is bringing people in. I think I'm okay with turf.
Cool. Okay, so just start like a 6 o'clock maybe for it.
Okay.
And then take an extra die too, because Cross is helping.
Hmm.
And what is the action? Is it networking?
Yeah, I think it might be networking, right? It's especially like kind of the first steps of it would be like just meeting the people and seeing who needs what and like where I should be focusing my efforts.
Cool.
Okay. Well, 10 minutes from now, I will have a role in the chat.
Cool. That sounds good.
Oh, we're past position. Pacify. Oh, it's going fast. Look at that.
2 ticks. And if you want to spend money, you can increase it, of course.
I have no money.
That's on you.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm okay with that.
Cool. So is it sort of like also the epilogue of Gabrage, like the fade out scene on Gabrage? So this is like you doing this, beginning to atone for your perceivable sins?
Yeah, I think so. I think like the season finale is like, is Gabrish coming back? Sort of thing. Just getting more integrated into the community and like maybe part of it, the like months later thing is like I've taken over maybe a lot of the like hands-on work from Cross, to like let Cross focus more on the constant gardeners, and then I probably just go to her for like advice often, since there's no experience with like community organizing or anything. But then yeah, probably later you would Gabrish be back with vengeance. I remember why.
Cool. Okay. And Shimmer, second downtime action.
Second downtime action. I don't have anything particular in mind for her, and I don't need like a big send off. I don't feel the need to make her more complicated than she currently is. So I'll just throw that into training, I guess. And that's going to be kind of her. You know, I kind of want to keep this focused on insight, which we'll see her kind of like exploring. I don't. Is there like a name on the city that we're in?
Elder 1.
Okay. She's like a pretty recent arrival here, so like she's kind of like exploring Shelter One, kind of checking out different areas, like meeting different people, really trying to get a feel for not just the town, but like the people in it, and like who are like the people and the factions to like watch out for, because like especially after this last gig went like kind of hairy, like she's almost like feeling like she's getting into more serious trouble than she might have realized to begin with.
Cool. I like that. And what about Old Man?
Yeah, I think that old man is he saw a lot of failure during this last event. I think he's going to train, and I think what this is he's with Shimmer, um, working through some of the schematics and working through some of the mechanics, trying to get better and fix those mistakes. So I think that's going to be training. Actually, I think I'm going to train in uh, prowess for the wrecking that we were supposed to have done. And at the same time, I think I'm going to spend a jewel to also train and resolve for the hacking that we were supposed to do.
Cool. And do you guys have that train? Yeah, you do. So you get 2 ticks instead of 1.
Okay.
Cool.
And then I did two actions of healing, but I'm going to spend a jewel to actually go do indulge my vice
Right.
with Gabrish. So I'll roll that.
Cool. 4.
It's good.
Cool. And so the final shot is you guys trying to look for some refugees at the docks and recruiting them
Yeah.
and getting them jobs and work and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. Is like we talked to Orl. It's like the montage of talking to Orlin, finding some people, bringing them down to the docks, getting them set up, and doing things like that.
Cool. All right. Let's do XP, Darren.
Yes. I address the challenge with deception or influence.
That was pretty deceiving. And then you deceived everyone again by doing like, I have tattoos.
Yeah, true. And then I express my beliefs, drives, culture, or background.
And you're also deceiving yourself, thinking you're out of the life.
True, yeah. I'm just gonna walk away from all this.
Yeah.
No, well, I think that the trauma stuff is like a new beliefs, but I don't think we can tie that together. I don't know if maybe this background from like tying the tattooing into everything.
Well, I
I
think
mean,
the
we
belief
also
at the
talked
end.
about our beliefs of
Yeah.
like taking
Oh, yeah.
nourish.
Yeah, true. The entire
Yeah.
conversation we had.
Yeah. About
And your
your
Yeah.
rival showed up to cause problems.
Yes.
True. And then last one, struggle to issues from vice root traumas during the session. Yeah.
Yes. Cool.
Easy peasy.
Mike?
Yeah, so first is you addressed a challenge with technical skill or mayhem. I think we tried technical skill, but ended up getting mayhem. So either way, I'll take the XP. Express your beliefs, drives, culture, or background. I think so much is that, like, she's not terribly complicated, is kind of driven by this like nihilistic urge for like pleasure, then yes. Struggled with issues from your vice, root, or traumas during play. No, I don't think that we saw issues as a result of that. Overall, like, I de-stressed with my vice, and that's the extent of it. So I don't think I would say we had issues there.
Cool. And Steve?
Yeah, so mine's the same as Mike's. You addressed a challenge with technical skill or mayhem. I think we did that. You expressed your beliefs, drives, culture, or background. I don't think the foundation really came into play much other than during downtime. And the same thing's true of the struggle with issues from your vice, root, or traumas. We didn't really see that on screen much.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Yoshi?
Address a challenge with violence or intimidation. Lots of violence. I could also sort of see the initial meeting with Elspeth, a little bit of intimidation of like, no, we're both like here as edges, as like people. It's not like it's basically recognizing that I'm a threat, type thing. And then beliefs, drives, culture, background. I think part of why we chose to go after this was part of cross pushing, like the getting like people being free. I think that was really important in making sure that we have like complete through like a pipeline of water and food and things like that. And then also just the beliefs in that last scene with Cabrage. I don't think I really like my trauma is being obsessed with nourish. I don't think that really causes any struggling. It was there, but it wasn't a struggle.
Right. Sounds good. Also, Gabrace, you didn't indulge your vice, did you?
No.
So you take one stress because you have a trauma.
Oh. I don't have any stress to indulge for.
I know, but that's what trauma
Oof,
is in the game.
that's rough.
If you have a trauma, you take trauma equal, like, however many traumas you have, you take that as stress if you don't indulge your vice in downtime.
Well, I guess that makes sense narratively.
Yeah. And then for the crew, let's see. Did you execute a successful accident, disappearance, murder, or ransom operation?
Yeah.
One or two? What do people think?
Well, there were lots of murders, and we sort of took over. That
Yeah.
feels like sort of ransom, I guess.
Sure. Did you contend with challenges above your station? Yes,
Yes.
one tick for that. Did you bolster your reputation or develop a new one? Your reputation right now is professional and deadly.
We definitely bolstered deadly, but I also think like we're starting to develop a reputation of like being far reaching, I guess, of like being in a lot of different places.
So what do you want to call that?
I don't know. I'm just saying like it feels like we're branching out, and I think
Ambitious?
Ambitious is what I was thinking.
yeah, ambitious is good. I like
so.
that.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely think that's true. And did you express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew?
Yeah, I mean,
I think drawing the water forward, definitely was a part of the constant gardener pathway. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
All right. And are we thinking 1 or 2 for that one? The goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature? 1?
I think just 1.
Cool. Okay. So you're 4 away from your next upgrade. 4 away. And that'll do it. Cool. I'm going to stop the broadcast.